Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing well today. Um, I just wanted to get on here and talk about my journey so far. On December 11th of 2020, I was out playing tennis when I thought that a tennis ball from the people playing on the court next to me had slammed into the back of my ankle. And I said, ouch. I remember yelling out, ouch, and bending down to grab my ankle. And the person I was playing with was like, no ball came near you. And then when I went to take a step, my foot was like numb. I couldn't really walk. So I just sat on the concrete and I was just like shaking my head, like, what in the world, right? So I knew something had happened, but I really was going to go home and just take a shower and stuff. But then I was like, well, I can't walk on it right now, so let me go to the ER. Luckily for me, it happened on my left leg. And of course, we drive with our right leg here in the United States, that is. And so for me, I could still drive. So I went to the ER. When I got in there, I explained what happened, and they were like, it sounds like you completely ruptured your Achilles tendon. And I was like, wow, right? Because I've been an athlete, I've been working out vigorously, I teach exercise classes, I run stairs, squat jumping, step aerobics, jumping jacks, just vigorous exercising all the time. And once again, like I said, I teach classes, Zumba, cardio fit, right? So for me, I was in impeccable shape, and I say was. I still am, but of course I'm gonna lose some of that being that I can't exercise right now. So I get to the doctor, they go to take my shoe off, I scream bloody murder, right? That's when I knew something was really wrong because up to that point it was just throbbing a little bit. It wasn't anything too bad. So that was on December 11th. So that following Monday, I called my ortho doctor. I said to make an appointment, and they told me to come in Tuesday, the next day. I went in. They did X-ray, MRIs. Actually, no, I already had the MRI. I had that when I went to the ER. But they did X-rays, and all that was done. They looked at me and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna need surgery." So they scheduled it for that Thursday. And for me, I didn't really know much about Achilles tendon injuries, being as I've never injured that. I've had two surgeries on my right knee, arthroscopic surgeries. I've had a couple of children, right? So those things, like, I was familiar with. Knee surgery, I was walking on it the same day. So I'm thinking, okay, my Achilles tendon. Really wasn't familiar with how severe this injury was. So I started getting on YouTube and researching and things like that. Recovery time, I found out was going to be a lot longer than I expected, right? So I had to really get myself mentally prepared for this journey. I was going to start recording week one post-op, but I just didn't have it in me to do it at that time. I was still trying to really grasp what has happened. So now, as of Thursday of this past week, I am 4 weeks post-op, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. I had my surgery, like I said, on that following Thursday, which was December 16th. Got home that night. The pain medication they gave me during surgery had started to wear off. I was trying to take my medicine before I started hurting so that I could beat the pain instead of trying to chase the pain, because it's really hard when you're already hurting to chase the pain. So I would advise you, surgery day, do not wait until the evening to take your first pain med. Take it a couple hours after you get home. I would advise that, actually, or maybe right when you get home. So it started hurting. I took a pain pill. My pain pill was wearing off before I could take another one. So that first night, my leg, I was in a lot of pain. I took a pain pill. It said you can only take one every 4 hours. It was wearing off in 3.5. And then I had to wait. So it was 30 minutes of me feeling the pain, and then 30 more minutes for the pill I took to actually kick in. So that was an hour that I was going, with pain in between there. First night was like that. Second day, I rotated between the pain pill and ibuprofen. I didn't have any pain the second day. Thursday night, night of my surgery, yes. That Friday, I alternated between my pain med and my ibuprofen every 4 hours. Felt zero pain. That Saturday, I stopped taking the pain pills altogether. I said, if I need something, I'll take ibuprofen, because the ibuprofen 800 milligram prescribed pill actually worked better for me. I feel like, than the pain pill did. And they gave me hydrocodone, and that didn't really work for me. It made me itchy. Like, that's a side effect of it, but I was like itching. I was just like, oh, I feel itchy. So I didn't really like it too much. But yeah, So really just one night of pain. And I know the story is different for everyone. So just, I would just a couple words of advice. Just take, what's happened to me so that someone else can benefit from it, who's been injured or has the same type of injury. So I went to the doctor 2 weeks post-op. They had originally given me a cast, and we all know the cast is very uncomfortable. It itches. You can't reach the itch, right? And it's just, your leg is just hot, right? And it's heavy, it's uncomfortable, and all that. So when I went in 2 weeks post-op, they said they wanted to look at my scar, see how I'm healing, and if it was healing well, they'll give me an Achilles boot. So I still had, they said it looked great, but I still had that liquid tape that they use to seal your wounds over. They didn't give me stitches. They gave me that, I think it's dermaform. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So I have that over it. So you couldn't really see it, but they said it looked great. I didn't have any bleeding or anything like that going on. So that's great. So they gave me this handy dandy. Mind you, this was 2 weeks ago because I'm 4 weeks post-op as of Thursday, this past week. So they gave me this handy dandy. You guys can see it. This Achilles boots, right? As you can see, it has my foot angles. You can't really see it too well, but you can see my heel is here. The bottom of the boot is here. So they have my foot angles point at a pointed position. They wanted to stay that way. So they say to keep the boot on unless I'm taking a shower, things like that. They said to sleep in it so that your foot doesn't move and everything. So pretty much it's on most of the time, except I shower daily. So it comes off for that. I moisturize myself around, of course, the incision. You don't want to put anything on it. And then I put on my compression stocking that they told me to wear, and then the boot back on. So for me, when I went for my 2-week post-op, they put 4 weeks in between when I came back. So they told me during that time, no weight bearing, obviously still. Let the dermaform fall off on its own. Don't mess with it. And just continue. So I have a knee scooter that's sitting right here next to me, and I have some crutches. So that's how I get around. I use a knee scooter when I go to work because I went to work the following Tuesday after surgery. I went back to work using the knee scooter. It works out fine, just putting it into the car, taking it out of the car. It's a lot, but definitely better than the crutches because it's hard to get around, and my right leg was getting tired because was carrying the burden of all my body weight. And of course, I told you I had 2 knee surgeries on this right knee, so it's not the strongest that it could be. So here I am 4 weeks post-op. I do not see the doctor for another 2 weeks. I am excited to go because I'm hoping they will tell me that I could start putting a little bit of weight on my leg. I've lost a lot of muscle mass, of course, in my left calf, especially compared to my right. So that's a process. I've seen some videos where people went 2 weeks post-op, got a boot, and they told them they could start like weight bearing like 10% or something like that. So for me, that was a little discouraging because I'm like, man, they gave me a whole month before I can come back, and they said no weight bearing. So the process will be different for everybody, and just understand that as you watch some of these videos, you may have a doctor who does like me. I'm going back, and it'll be 6 weeks post-op when I go to my next appointment in 2 weeks. And that's when they're going to hopefully take out one of these inserts in my boot, let my foot start getting back to a little more of a natural position, and then let me start weight bearing a little bit. But just understand the process is different for everyone, and just to follow the doctor's orders. I'm one of those people who I like to go. I don't like to be sitting still. I don't like to be confined. But I had to really tell myself with this injury, I'm going to follow directions that the doctor gives me. I'm not going to weight bear. I'm not going to try anything on my own. I'm not going to be Superwoman this go around just because I'm very unfamiliar with this type of injury. I've never had it before. So I just encourage all of you to keep your heads up. Listen to the doctor is really, really important, and understand that your journey and other people's journey will not be the same. Some of them might get to weight bear after 2 weeks, some 4. Some might be like me, where your doctor doesn't schedule for a whole nother month after your 2 week post-op. So it'll be 6 weeks before, and hopefully they will give me the okay to start weight bearing because I'm ready to walk again. This has been very mentally challenging for me. I've done a lot of, we're in consecration right now for church, so a lot of prayer, and I'm fasting and things like that. So that has really helped me keep a strong, sound mental state, but it can be very, very mentally draining. And for those of you who live alone like I do, it's going to be hard at first to maneuver around and figure out how you're going to do your laundry, how you're going to, make your bed, wash your bed sheets, linens, just everything, clean, things like that. But I promise you, it will get easier. You find a method that works for you, where you're not at risk of injuring yourself, and just do the best you can, right? I've come a long way, and I've been doing it by myself since day one. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it. Please subscribe to my page. I will keep you updated. When I go to my appointment, you won't hear from me for 2 weeks until I go to my 6-week post-op appointment. And then I will post a video updating you on what they told me and how the healing is going with my Achilles tendon repair. Leave some comments. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. Stay blessed, everyone, and keep your heads up.